It really is. 1865, the very first one. Everybody in racing wants to get their hands on a trophy that is steeped in tradition and carries the prize money that this one does. It's got such a rich history, one that we're going to tell you all about now.
First run in 1865, the Epsom Handicap has been won by some of Australia's greatest milers, including Gunsynd and dual winner, the mighty Superimpose.
Look at Superimpose, he's come through between horses, he's going to do it. It's history at Randwick. Superimpose has come from last.
Named after the Epsom Downs racecourse in England, the 1600-metre Randwick Spring feature has a storied history. 11-year-old jockey Jim McHugh won it in 1897, weighing only 27 kilos. And another lightweight jockey, Glenn Boss, made it 4 Epsoms when he won on Colding in 2019.
And Colding wins the Epsom!
It's been a great race for the Smith-Waterhouse family. TJ won 7, and so has Gay, including Desert War, who went back-to-back in 2004 and 5. Chris Waller has won it 4 times, with perhaps the most famous of all in 2015, when a young Winx unleashed a devastating burst of speed to blow them all away in the 150th running of the great race.
And Winx races over to hit the lead. She shot away in the Epsom. It's all over.
Thanks for that, Embossum. So the big four handicaps, the races that we love so much in Australian racing, over the mile. And the Epsom was the first of them really in 1865. It's just a year older than the Doncaster. It's a beautiful day at Royal Randwick. Big crowd here today. So 1865, the Doncaster Mile the year after. The Toorak, well, not too long after that. And now the Cantata, the Champions Mile, is at weight for age, but used to be the handicap. Gunsynd, the only horse to win all 4 in that one season that he did. We talked about him earlier today, didn't we? And some of the stories today, well, Tommy Sherry's one of 2 jockeys in this race that's trying to win his first Group 1. David Perez is the other. He rides Kerwin's Lane. He's a good miler. He's a very good miler. Is he good enough to win an Epsom? We're about to find out for Tom Sherry, who's got a winner today. That would be something. He would absolutely love it. Will tell us about Chris Waller. He's won 4 of them already. He's got more than a handful today.
It speaks to the tactician that he is, because getting horses well weighted into handicaps at the mile is an art. So it really just shows that he plans these out from a long way before, gets them in at the right weight, books the right jockey. He's got plenty in there. He waits for the ones that have the right barriers, and off they go.
And the GOAT, well, Damien Oliver has never won an Epsom handicap. Of course, we know that he'll be finishing up his riding career at the end of the year, probably going over to Western Australia to finish up at the Summer Carnival after our spring. How fitting it would be to win his 130th Group 1, his first Epsom for his great mates in Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace. He doesn't ride a lot for them, but I wouldn't discount Nugget going into this.
And Joe Moore has ridden 6 Group 1s in this country. The first was at an Epsom for Chris Waller, and he rides Kovalika today. So could he make it a 7th Group 1 in this country? He's having a remarkable season. He's a remarkable jockey, is the Magic Man. So there's some of the stories behind this Epsom. And Emma, you caught up with Jamie Carr a little earlier.
Great to see Jamie Carr here at Royal Randwick today, looking to get your 10th Group 1 win. We'll start with pounding because, of course, Catherine Coleman, she's looking for her first Group 1. Third up today, got to be given a massive chance in the Epsom.
Yeah, I galloped him and Molly Nickers on Tuesday, and they went super, and he's in with a nice lightweight. Obviously, it's not easy to win a Group 1, but he's definitely, he's due.
Benno, the beautiful grey, he's been an enigma of sorts throughout his racing career, but this preparation, things just seem to be ticking over nicely for this galloper in the Metropolitan.
Yeah, he's been running amazing since he's been here. The last few starts were great. He's in with the very lightweight, 51.5, so he should get his chance in Barrier 1, and like I said, I don't give away Group 1s, but he's in with a really hot chance.
Geez, it's been a busy schedule for you, so Moonee Valley, Sandown, this in the middle, but you had a sleep and you're looking fresh as a daisy.
Yeah, had a couple of hours sleeping, which was great, and then home tonight, and busy day tomorrow, but it's could be worse, could be not here.
Yeah, you're here and you're racing for big prize money and for Group 1 glory. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
What a star she is, Jamie Carr, starting to build some momentum too after the big fall for her, and she's coming back. We love seeing her in these big group ones. Ben from the tab. $7 the field wheel. It's as Ben said, it's what we expect from these races. My Oberon, he's a very good horse. He was second in the Doncaster. Can he go one better here?
Well, I actually think my Oberon's the bit of the forgotten horse. I think this is the best form leading into this race. I thought his return runs have been okay. Feels like this is the grand final and could be ready to rock.
The inevitable. He's on a terrific form streak at the moment. He's had big winning streaks in the past. He's very good at the mile. His first up run in the Theo Marks was outstanding. That's the race that Winks won on her way to her first, or her Epsom win. I think he'll run so well. For David Perez, it would be something quite remarkable. John Key stepping in today. Going global, one of these very expensive mares for Yulong. She showed a little bit of form, I thought, last start.
Interesting that James has taken the ride. That's a tick of approval. But in saying that, there's a lot of horses down in the weights in this handicap, so he could be overeating that. But look, on her day, I'm sure she'd be able to be competitive. Converge is
a very good miler. He's a Group 1 winning miler at Royal Randwick. He doesn't win often.
I'm not 100% sold. There's a lot of talk about this horse and how it can turn its form around very quickly, but I would have liked to have seen it finish off a bit stronger last start.
Golden Mile's got a very difficult barrier. He's an outstanding 3-year-old. He won a Caulfield Guineas. He came back and won $1 million race here. He's back in form, winning the Theo Marks. He'll run well. He ran last in the Doncaster. Forget about that one. That was the end of a campaign. Look, he's a beautiful horse. It's just the barrier. Is he strong enough? I think he needs a cushy run to win. He won't get it from that draw. This is Tom Sherry's Kerwin's Lane. He's just got this big Randwick mile record, hasn't he?
He loves the mile at Randwick, most certainly, but I think this is a grade above what he's been winning at, and I think maybe, I think the market's got it pretty right, 56 to 1.
The favourite at the moment is $7. Craig Williams, we spoke to him earlier about this one, Will. So fourth in a Doncaster, fourth in a Golden Eagle, second in a Queen of the Turf. Say she's a Group 1 winner in waiting, I do anyway.
Yeah, and she really attacked the line like a horse that's ready for 1600. Kerry Parker's got a great knack of getting horses ready for grand finals, and look, it's very hard to tip against her, but it's sort of an even lot.
This shows you how strong the race is. Now, Diamond's a decent horse. He's won 600 grand. He's a horse that's won, what's he won? He's won 3 stakes races. Very good record at the mile, and he's really 100 to 1 pop, and it would be a massive surprise. Not if Kovalika were to win a Queensland Derby win. He's won a Guineas in Queensland over 1600.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure he's a 1600 metre horse at this level in open grade, but he did absolutely knock them out of the park in the Queensland Derby. It wasn't just a win, it was emphatic, so you could see him coming back again.
But this horse nugget is a miler, isn't he?
Yeah, and I thought his first up run was really good for a horse that doesn't have the turn of foot over 1300. At 1600, he's going to have that turn of foot. He'll be there a long way. He'd be my pick of the lot.
Ollie's hardly ever ridden in the race, so it would be absolutely brilliant. Pounding for Jamie Carr. Again, a little different form lines coming in.
Yeah, it is. It's that Melbourne form line. Look, again, I think there's stronger form lines like Doncaster form line, but Peter Moody has a knack of getting the job done in these big races.
And he ran well in the All-Star Mile. He was, in the top 6 there. So Communist has won a Randwick Guineas just like Converge. He's a year younger. Is he good enough to win this?
He's an intriguing horse. He used to be a real rat bag when he was younger. I remember at Michael's Yard, but I think he's a horse at odds. He's going to get a lovely run. Dylan Gibbons on board. I think he could be thereabouts. It's just whether he's strong enough late.
Madame Pomeroy's won a Group 1 at a mile, the 1,000 Guineas. She's got an awkward draw. Is she good enough?
I think this is a bit out of her range now. I don't think she's really ever backed up that form from the 1,000 guineas, but she is a Group 1 winner. She's got Karen McAvoy on board. I think he'll find a bum to follow, and you never know your luck.
This horse has done it differently. He's come from the bottom up through the benchmark race. His win in the Cameron at Newcastle was quite outstanding, Democracy Manifest.
Very progressive horse. I know in the previous prep they were targeting for the Stradbroke, but they didn't think they'd get his rating up high enough to get into it. So they've now found this race. He looks enormous, and I think he's going to run a very bold race.
And again, another wallow. This would be big for Kathy, wouldn't it? Kathy O'Hara won 4 of his last 5. He beat Yellow Brick in Queensland. That's good form.
Absolutely, and I think it's another one. It's a progressive horse on the up. It's one of Waller's traditional handicap milers that gets in really low at the weights. He times the run of wins perfectly, and I think he's a big hope.
So Redina with a good barrier. Barbie's Fox, she won the Winter Stakes. She's got a good 1,600 metre record. She was 7th in the Ritchie. Look, I don't think she's an Epsom winner. That's me anyway. Williamsburg, he won on this day last year, the Dulcify. We know he's a very good wet tracker. I thought his last start run was excellent.
Absolutely. I think he actually wants even maybe a touch further. So I think it's building nicely. It wouldn't surprise you coming out of it, running second in a Group 2. It wouldn't surprise you. Really low down in the odds, 50 kilos, great barrier, going to get a lovely run.
There are 3 4-year-old stallions in the race. Williamsburg, Golden Mile, and this bloke political debate. So that would be important for them to win an Epsom. A second in the Atkins hasn't really got back to that form. So Rachel's on 150 to 1 pop. She's going to go on a odds-on favourite in the Metrop. So that's the situation for the Epsom. So they leave the mounting yard, the theatre of the horse, through that tunnel onto the track. Let's go back to Ben Way from the Tab for the hot horse for the Tab Epsom.
So money, unsurprisingly, is pretty evenly spread, but the hot horse we are making Kovalika, which is around the $9.50 mark at the moment, but it's the second best backed runner in the race with Tab. There is a firmer in Nugget, which is now the outright favourite for the race, but I just want to say there are other factors that are drawing that price in. There's next to no money with Tab.
So interesting there. Kovalika is the hot horse. Nugget now replaces Hope in Your Heart as the favourite. Big field, that's what we love. We had a smallest field last year, and of course we had a dead heat in the Epsom last year. It took forever and a day, and they couldn't split them in the end with Top Ranked and Earlsburg. That was something different again. But we love this race, Will, because it brings together an eclectic group of horses that have come from so many different places. Not so much that Wait for Age star, generally that handicapper, but you do get that promising horse on the way up.
Yeah, absolutely. They soon after this go into Wait for Age, which is, set weights. This is their last chance before if they win, they make that step, and then they've got to make another step up to try and compete against some of the best milers in the country, like your Mr. Brightside. So, look, I think, in my opinion, there's only, while it's an even bunch, I think Nugget, Hope in Your Heart, and if I was going to throw in sort of one that was a little bit rougher, I'd be throwing in Democracy Manifest.
So he's the one that comes through that brilliant run at Newcastle. It was quite amazing, wasn't it? So Ollie, with that such a thin record, as we said in this race, the one try, there he is there. So Damien's on 129 Group 1 wins. And the gap between his first Group 1 and his most recent is 33 years. Looked it up during the week, Will. Only Jim Cassidy has a longer stretch in terms of years between first and last. So Jim's last Group 1 was Dissident, and that was in 2015. He had 34 years between the first and last. The only other Australian jockey we could find that has a longer one is Scobie Breesley. But his happened in England, his last one. So he had his first win in 1930 in the Metrop and his last in the Sussex States in 1967. Wow. So, but Ollie, with a 33-year gap between his first one, Submariner, for Lee, and then all the way through to last weekend.
He was an incredible apprentice, to say the least. He started off with a bang, but Ollie rode a horse for us last week and was still telling us where it should go next. His hunger for the game and to win is still as prominent as ever, and it's a testament to him. And I think I spoke to James McDonald to say, do you want to go out while you're at the top of your game? And then I thought about it for a second, and it almost feels like Damien is going out at the top of his game, because he's still winning Group 1s at such a a later stage in his career. So he's been an absolute marvel, and I think he'll leave a hole in Australian racing after this year completes, where he finishes up in Perth.
Oh, no question about that. An indelible mark on the sport. So Gay's got 7 along with Tommy. So already today we've seen Gay get within 2 of her father in the flight. She's got 1 more than him in a Metropolitan. We checked those Group 1s earlier, the fact that they have dominated this day so much in the past. She and Adrian brought 19 horses to the races today, and they've already had 3 winners, and they've had the Group 1 so far. So who knows? I mean, if she were to win this, there's every chance they'll win all 3, because they're going to have the odds-on favourite in the next. Now, Chris has done that, and Tommy did it twice, but they're the only trainers to have won all these 3 races on the one day.
They'd be confident that they're going to get the treble if they get this one, but look, it's a very tight bunch at the top. I think a lot of it's going to come down to luck in running in such a big field. Are you going to get on the back of the horse that you want to follow into the race? Are you going to be able to get an easy time up front, or are they going to go hard enough up front to let the back markers come into it? So it's very intriguing.
No, that first 100 I actually might go back to Ben. I just want to ask him one thing from the who at the moment will run favourite in the race, because we had Hope in Your Heart as favourite, and then Nugget replaced Hope in Your Heart a few minutes ago. So, Ben, not so much a hot horse. We know that's Kovalika, but who do you think right now will be the Tab's favourite for the Epsom?
I'm standing right next to you, and you can't see a crystal ball. So I don't really know how are you expecting me to answer that, except to say Hope in Your Heart's our current favourite with Nugget. So
no, that's all I needed to know. Who was the favourite right now for are they equal favourites now?
So Nugget's just usurped it again, so $7 and $7.50. But in terms of predicting who will jump favourite, in answer to that question is what I mean, it genuinely could be any number of 5 between Nugget, Hope in Your Heart, Democracy Manifest, The Inevitable and Pounding.
So that close, is it?
That close,
okay.
Yeah. Even in money held, not just the price, in money held as well. Even Kovalika, which is on the 7th line, is the second best backed.
Okay, so that sums up Epsoms, doesn't it?
Handicap races are supposed to be like this. If they've got the handicap right, they should all finish together.
So this season, this is the richest race that's been run so far this season. Now, we've only been going since August 1st. This is the first race we've had in Australia worth more than $1 million. It's $1.5 million in prize money. Converge comes up. That would be something, wouldn't it, for Tim Clark and for Waterhouse Spot. Here's Darren Flindell for his call of the 2023 Epsom Handicap.
Move in. 2 to move in now. Golden Mile and Political Debate drawn the extreme outside. 18 to run in the Tab Epsom. Nugget, the post-time favourite, and they're locked and loaded. There's the light. The Tab Epsom field about to be let loose. Here we go, they're off and racing. Kovalika didn't jump well, nor did Kerwin's Lane. Golden Mile was sharp into stride and is going to lead from Radina and Williamsburg, followed by Barbie's Fox. Converge not in the hunt early. Going Global's going forward, together with Pounding deep out on the outside of Communist. Further back to Diamond and Converge caught deep. Democracy Manifest midfield from The Inevitable, and Nugget caught a little bit deep. They're followed further back by Kovalika on the rails from Kerwin's Lane. Madame Pommery settles well back in the field, together with Hope in Your Heart. She might be caught a bit wide there going into the first bend. And well back is My Oberon on the outside of Political Debate. So Golden Mile leads them up down the side in the hands of Blake Shin narrowly from Williamsburg. Radina gets a great run, third on the rails. And going forward now is Nugget. Oliver couldn't get in, so he said, let's go. And the favourite Nugget now moves up on the outside of Golden Mile, a long way from home. 2 lengths to Williamsburg, third, followed by Radina staying put on the rails from Going Global the outside. 2 lengths then to Communist, followed by Barbie's Fox pounding out deep. Hope in Your Heart being scrubbed up by Williams, trying to get into it as they come around the home corner now. And Golden Mile comes back on Nugget. Golden Mile a length and a half on Nugget, followed by Williamsburg. Radina getting a gap. Further back to Kovalika, working into the clear. Hope in Your Heart coming down the outside together with Mo Oberon, but Golden Mile has a good lead inside the 150. Golden Mile 2 in front. Radina, Democracy Manifest charging home. Golden Mile in front from Radina. Kovalika wide out. Radina just won it, I'd say, from Kovalika. Golden Mile. Then came Barbie's Fox, Democracy Manifest, The Inevitable, and wide out Hope in Your Heart with My Oberon. Further back to Williamsburg, Diamond, Pounding, Converge. Nugget weakened out from Going Global. Further back to Communist, Political Debate, Kerwin's Lane, and Madame Pommery.
So Kathy O'Hara wins, and I reckon becomes the first female jockey to win the Epsom handicap. She gets how many Group 1s for Kathy now? She gets her third Group 1. Chris gets 152, gets his fifth Epsom. He looked home, Golden Mile. He looked home for all the money in the world at the 250, and then they came and swept. And has Chris Quinella it?
I think so. But the thing about Golden Mile is he got into a lovely spot in the lead, but you sort of asked, did he do too much work early? It's not at any peril of Blake. It was a great ride, but just that little bit of extra work told late. But not to take anything away from Kathy O'Hara. She is a journeyman of a jockey, and she goes everywhere in New South Wales. She fully deserves this.
And the Whitby Werrett, of course, get that, and they've got Private Eye and the Everest in their slot. Let's go to Emma. Chris Waller's won his fifth Epsom.
Chris, this is a masterful training performance from a Group 3 winner. This preparation to now win an Epsom, and nice congratulations there from James Cummings. Wow, he's really put his hand up today, and so is Kathy O'Hara.
Yeah, very special for Kathy. She's Charlie's wife.
I missed her. She's not her husband.
Sometimes I don't know. Yeah, it's great. Kathy's just an amazing toiler. Sydney racing, 52 weeks of the year. She just gives it her best. Amazing horse person. Gives you great feedback. She lives on a horse. And yeah, Charlie is obviously so close to me, and pretty fitting result.
Amazing ability to jump through the grades, this horse as well. Like last preparation, did you think he was going to be a Group 1 winner?
When he won in Queensland, we set him for this race, but setting horses for races is not easy. But to see him win like he did first up gave us a little bit of hope, and the barrier draw was obviously a big plus. So yeah, it was good and great for Max and Neil, both tremendous supporters of ours, supporters of racing, and pretty fitting result all around.
Can see it means a lot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, especially Charlie and Kathy. Doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, they're very special people. They're great workers and a lot of fun as well. So I can only imagine the celebrations tonight.
Thank you.
No, it's a brilliant win, isn't it, Radina? So he keeps on 5 at it. Look at Kathy. Oh, that big 4 was single gaze. She came back. She's so tough, we know. Charlie Duckworth, of course, so much part of the Chris Waller, almost like a co-trainer in many ways. Gets her third Group 1. Chris, his fifth Epsom, he's 152. And Redout's Choice, the sire, that's his now gone. The one and only Redout's. That's his 40th individual Group 1 winner as a stallion. That's something, isn't it?
And there was a time when people thought Redout's had gone past it and wouldn't produce anymore, and just look what he's done in his elder years of being a stallion, and as you said, recently passed. But unbelievable for Kathy. She would be like family to Chris.
Absolutely. We'll hear from Kathy shortly, and we'll also see how Gay goes. Trying to win a 9th Metropolitan with the odds-on favourite Just Fine. So brilliant ride by Kathy O'Hara there with Radina to create some real history here in the Epsom handicap that supplied so much over the years, and she's now with Emma.
Miss, congratulations, you have just won an Epsom handicap. It's one of those races that all Sydney jocks want to win, and you've done it.
How bloody good. I can't believe it. Yeah, just delighted. I'm just really thankful, obviously, to Chris and Charlie and the whole team, and to be given these opportunities, and my manager too, Ryan, to keep me in the fight for these rides, and it's very, very special.
You just mentioned Charlie and Chris. You guys are a little team, of course, Charlie being assistant trainer to the master trainer, but you do a lot of the hard work as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously they put in big hours, and no one knows that more than sort of behind the scenes, and he's manifesting this so much, and he was making me nervous. I was like, can you stop being so weird and just let this happen? You're making me nervous. But yeah, I think he was dreaming big. He'd be delighted.
You got a beautiful run in transit too.
I had a lovely run. It just panned out lovely for him, and he produced the goods. He's just a really nice horse, and it's only up from here, I think, for him. Like, it's not the ceiling for him, so who knows?
He's a great horse, but the story today is all about you and getting another Group 1. They're hard to come by. Congratulations. Celebrate. I know you will.
Thank you. Thank you. I also want to give a special mention to Mitch and the OGs for getting me fit. Thank you.
Good on you, Kath.
It's always a team effort in racing, isn't it? Good on you, Kathy. You're an absolute champion. So 3 Group 1s for her now. She climbs up that ladder. Jamie on 9 has the all-time record. But this is a big one in Epsom to win that at Royal Randwick under the circumstances with Charlie Duckworth's connection, of course, with Kathy and then with Chris and all of that. You can see her love of the horse, can't you, Will?
Oh, absolutely. Just fully deserved it. But this is the next headline act, isn't it? Seeing Romantic Warrior come out for the Cox Plate. You never know. Radine might end up there as well.
So he goes in the Turnbull, and Ethan Brown reflects on last year's Turnbull where he won on Smoke and Romans.